There's still two people on the waiting room.
Amare Krishna Gopal, Amare Pran Gopal, 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 Amare Pran Gopal. Krishna Gopal, Amare Pran Gopal, Amare Pran Gopal, Pran Gopal, Amare Krishna Gopal, Amare Pran Gopal, Amare Krishna Gopal, Amare Pran Gopal. Krishna Gopal, 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 Roger Rakhal, Pran Gopal, Amare Krishna Gopal, Amare Pran Gopal, Amare Roger Rakhal, Amare Krishna Gopal, Amare Krishna Gopal, Amare Pran Gopal, Amare Roger Rakhal, Amare Pran Gopal, Amare Krishna Gopal, Amare Pran Gopal, Amare Roger Rakhal, Amare Krishna Gopal, Amare Krishna Gopal, Amare Pran Gopal, Amare Roger Rakhal, Amare Krishna Gopal, Gopal Govinda, Gopal Govinda, Gopal Govinda, Gopal
Hello, Brenda.
Govinda, Gopal Govinda, Gopal Govinda, Gopal Govinda, Gopal Govinda,
Brenda.
Gopal Govinda,
Oh, yeah. Wake up. Now, what do we do today, man?
Gopal Govinda, Gopal Govinda, Gopal Govinda, Gopal Govinda.
Yeah, we're done. Okay, take it. Okay, good. Welcome, everyone, to Matri's Satsang of Anandamayi Ma. Radio, there's still two people in the waiting room? I had a message about that. Okay, good. Gloria will be here shortly. She's still at our seat. Good water. Good to see everyone. Good to see you.
Got the lids covered.
And make sure everyone's muted because of the delay. We can't. Later on, when we have an open discussion, we will unmute. People can unmute. So first of all, there's something new, and that is that we are recording this. Renu Didi is recording this, and she's made a separate YouTube channel just for the Matri Satsangs. So it won't be like a big public thing, but we'll post them on this YouTube channel so people can access them later, or if someone isn't able to come, they can access it later. So what that means is we ask all of your permission to be recording you, and you may, if you speak, you will be on the screen. And we hope that doesn't dampen anyone's spirit of participation, because like I say, this isn't going to be, in front of the whole world or anything, but you will be recorded. And it'll just be for devotees who want to access this later and hear about Ma's teaching and words and things that we go through. So it's wonderful to see everyone. And as you know, if some of you, I'm sure, are here for the first time, but we'd like to have everyone introduce themselves, because my idea of having this Matthew Satsang is not just to study Ma's words, but it's to also have community, to have support for people who have been touched by Anandamayi Ma. Because in my travels all over the world, so many people have come to me and said, I just saw this picture of Ma and now she's in my life and all these things. Ma is very active. And even though her physical body is not with us, she's still, as you all know, and we're here because we've all been touched by Ma's grace. Any kind of interaction with Ma is because she thought of us first, as she always said. So we've all been touched by Ma's grace and we're here together. And I want people to really feel that we have community and support. We're all one family in Ma. So I first want to introduce my co-host, Pragya Hallstrom, who ran the Satsang, Matthew Satsang in Boston for years before we were struck down by COVID. And she'll introduce herself, and then Renu Didi, other co-hosts, will ask you all. And at this point, since we have a lot of people, just simply, we're going to both talk a little bit, but if you would at this time, just say your name and where you're from, and then we'll go on from there. And then later on, we have an open discussion. So first of all, if you don't know, my name is Mangalananda, and I am an appointed acharya. That means just a lineage teacher for the Ma Sharanam Ashram in central India, Madhya Pradesh, India. And I've been told to do this, so that's what I do. And I received Diksha from the hands of Anandamayi Ma in 1973 in her Vrindavan ashram, and been living in her lineage with many of her wonderful disciples ever since. And now I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. So Pragya, will you carry on and introduce yourself?
Yes, Jai Ma, everybody. It's great to see you all. I'm going to put my gallery view on because I love to see everybody's face. So my name is Pragya, and I live in Amherst, Massachusetts. And for several years, we had a live satsang in the Boston area. And here we are having an international satsang with the grace of Zoom. I first heard about Ma, as many of you did, by reading Autobiography of a Yogi many years ago. And then I was pointed in her direction by my guru, Swami Muktananda. And little did I know that she would sort of come to me after she left her body in the form of her archive, which was donated to Harvard University, where I was a student. And so I was able to swim in the blessings and presence of Ma for those years that I was at Harvard, and able to write a book called Mother of Bliss, where I interviewed Ma's closest devotees after about 8 years after she left her body. So she's very much, I see now she was in my life from the moment I was born, and maybe before that, but certainly the last a couple of decades have been full of the blessings of Ma. Jai Ma.
Wonderful, thank you, Pragya. And Renu, will you introduce yourself and then kind of lead us into our introductions?
Hey Ma, everyone. My name is Renu. I'm from Fremont, California. Just honored to be here with you all and just being the technical co-host for this. I will introduce everybody or ask people to introduce themselves by name. I'm going to try to keep everybody kind of like, we'll do like say in order by alphabetically down the participant list. So I'm going to start with Ananda Swarup and then say Anu's on deck. And I'm going to try to keep that in order as much as I can, but the participant list changes sometimes. So bear with us as we go.
You have to first look in your little square, and on the upper right-hand corner, there'll be a blue thing. It says unmute. So click to unmute yourself, okay?
Okay. So,
you're back afterwards.
so Ananda Swarup, you're up, and then Anu's next.
Yes, hello. I think it's good afternoon in America. Here is good evening in Spain. My name is Ananda Swarupa. and I live in Mallorca Island, in the marvelous, fantastic Mediterranean Sea. And it's a pleasure for me to be in this spiritual meeting with my dearest Ma. Thank you.
Wonderful. We're very welcome. Very happy to have you with us. And later when we have our discussion, I'd love to hear how you came to Ma, how Ma called you. So, but we can move on now. But thank you and welcome and Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, welcome Ananda Swarup. And next we have Anu and then Geeta.
Hi, I live in Washington State, and I've been a Ma devotee for about 30 years.
Good to see you, Anu. And we haven't met in person for a long time, several years now. Good to see you. I'm glad you're with us.
Yeah.
Jai Ma,
Yeah, me too.
welcome Anu. Next we have Geeta and then Arpita.
Thank you.
Jai Ma, this is Geeta from New York. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, Geeta. Always good to see you. Jai Bhagavan.
Jai Ma, welcome Geeta ji. Then we have Arpita ji and then Bhavani.
Arpita?
Okay, I was having a little difficulty unmuting. And my name is Arpita Brown, and I live in Delray Beach, Florida. And this is Robert Brown.
Hi, and yeah, in Florida.
Yep.
Always
How are
good
you?
to see you.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, welcome Arpita and Robert. Next we have Bhavani and then Billy.
Jai Ma, everyone. I'm Bhavani in the Boston area.
Good to see you, Bhavani. Jai Ma. Happy you could join us again.
Welcome Jai Ma, Billy. And next we have Broderick and then Carla.
Hi, I'm Billy. I live in New Milford, New Jersey.
Welcome, Billy. Jai Ma. Is it your first time to come to Satsang?
Yes,
Oh, welcome, welcome.
thank you.
Jai Ma, welcome Billy. Next we have Broderick and then Billy. Oh no, sorry, Carla.
All right, Jai Ma, everybody. I'm here for my second time. Last month was really, really profound. A lot of nuggets to chew on. I'm back for more, and I am in Louisville, Kentucky
Good. Good to see you, Broderick.
as well.
Welcome Broderick. Next we have Carla and then Crystal.
Hi, Jai Ma, everybody. I'm Carla. I'm from Rockport, Massachusetts, near the ocean here. So happy to be here again. Jai
Jai Ma.
Ma.
Welcome.
Jai Ma, welcome. Next we have Crystal and then Katya.
Is this working?
Yes, we hear you.
Oh, okay. Hi, sorry. I'm Crystal from New Zealand. Jai Ma, everybody. This is my first time, so I'm very happy to be here.
Welcome, Crystal. I think we've had some other people from New Zealand also. Welcome. Very good. Glad you're here.
Thank you.
Welcome, Jai Ma. Next we have Crystal and then David Herring.
This is from.
Oh, I've already. Sorry.
Sorry.
So was it Crystal?
I think it was Katya.
Katya.
Sorry, Katya, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was speaking. Sorry.
Sounds like
Yeah.
Oh, your voice is breaking. Be sure everyone turn on your video. If you click on your little square where your face is, there'll be a thing that says start video so we can see your face. Is that Katya from Portugal?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Very well.
We can't see you, Katya, but we know you and we're very happy you're here. Welcome, Jai Ma.
Okay, welcome Katya. Jai Ma, next we have David Platzer, or David Herring, sorry, David Herring and then David Platzer.
Yes, this is Linda and David. We live in Williamsburg, Virginia, and I have on my chakra hat. Can you see this? And Ma, no, I made it. It's cold here, even though we're in the south.
It's not a rainbow.
And yeah, no, it's a chakra hat. And Anandamayi Ma talked about that in the, I think, first book that I read about her. So,
Wow.
but I was at chakras before I read her.
Well, it's a beautiful hat. And welcome, Jay Ma. Maybe your chakras. You would put it on.
I'm a little jealous of that hat, but that's okay. I'll get over it. Next we have David Herring and then Dr. Murad.
You just did, this is David Herring right here.
David Platzer, sorry, I'm sorry. David Platzer and then Dr. Murad.
Hello, everyone. I'm David. This is my first time as part of this satsang. I don't know where I live. I'm kind of a gypsy, so I'm floating all over. But right now I'm in, of all places, South Texas doing some work. And who knows where I'm going next. But it's a pleasure to be here. And Jai Ma.
Good. Welcome, welcome. I grew up in Texas. But welcome. It's really, really good to have you here. It's fantastic.
Jai Ma, welcome, David Platzer.
Jai Ma, everyone. Murad from Boston. So good to be back. Lots of love, lots of love. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, Dr. G, we missed you last month.
Yes, I thought it wasn't being held because you were still away. I didn't realize you had made it back.
Yeah, yes, still alive, still here. After 2 quarantines.
Jai Ma, welcome. Next we have Frank and then Greg.
Hello, my name is Frank, coming from Hermiston, Oregon. I just want to say hi and hi to all the newcomers. And bienvenido España. And I really like that lady's hat.
Good to see you, Frank. We haven't seen you for a while either. It's good, really good to see you again. Jai Ma.
Nice to see you guys.
Yes,
Frank, Jai Ma. Next we have Greg and then Haldor.
Hi, I'm Greg in New Hampshire. Jai Ma.
Hi, Greg.
Hi.
Good to see you, Greg.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Part of our Anandamayi Ma community.
Jai Ma, Greg, welcome. Next we have Haldor and then Ilona.
So remember to go to your upper right-hand corner and do unmute. Is it Halgar?
Maybe he's very shy.
Okay, maybe we'll come back to Haldor then. How about we go to...
Welcome you. I'm very, very welcome.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, my name is Halldór and I'm in Iceland.
Iceland, how interesting. We've never had anybody.
Hi, Haldor.
I didn't know people. It's ice. No, it's true. Iceland is the pretty one, and Greenland is the icy one, right? Welcome. Welcome to Iceland.
Okay.
See, modern is every part of the world. There's no doubt about it.
Welcome, Jai Ma. Next we have Ilona.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ilona, and I am up here in Manchester, New Hampshire. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Hi. Jai Ma, welcome. Next we have Janet and then Kama.
Jai Ma, everybody.
It's David and Janet from Lake Worth, Florida.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Yeah. Good to see you, and I'm sorry I missed you last when I was there. I'm close to you at least.
Swing by.
Swing by, yeah.
Jai Ma, everyone. This is Kama from Melbourne in Australia. Lovely to be here again.
Happy to see you. Where is the wife?
She's at work.
Oh, I'm sorry. Good to
Give our love to Tanya.
Give our love to Tanya. Yeah.
I will. Thank you.
Jai Ma, welcome. Next we have Janet, then Keith.
We went already. Is there another Janet?
Sorry about that. Next we have Keith and then Margaret.
Hi, everyone. I'm Keith Salta Janes, and I'm in Los Angeles. It's my second time here. I haven't been in a few months, though, so I'm glad to be back. Jai Ma.
Hey Ma, and very, very, very welcome. Glad you're here. And I do get down to LA occasionally with doing kirtans and stuff. Maybe we'll meet.
Hey Ma, welcome. Next we have Marnie and then Mary.
Marnie?
Sorry. Hello, everyone. I'm here in Lighthouse Point, Florida, and it's great to be here again. Jai Ma.
Very good to see you, Marnie. Jai Ma. And like I said, I had plans to be in Florida, which were interrupted.
Oh.
But it was, eventually, I'll be visiting David and Janet there in Florida. We'll have an in-person satsang, hopefully.
Oh, yes. The weather is beautiful here. Great to be here. Thank you so much.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma,
Jai Ma.
welcome Marnie. Next we have Mary and then Michael.
Jai Ma, Mary from France. Hello, everybody.
There you are. Hi, Mary. Welcome.
Hi.
Where
Thank you.
in France are you?
In Burgundy.
Okay, yeah.
In Burgundy. Yeah.
In the years when I was sent by our ashram in India to tour, we went all over France. Yeah, we were in Burgundy. Did we meet then?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
was in Tiruvannamalai most of the time. I've just been here for COVID.
Okay. Wonderful.
I usually live in Tiruvannamalai at Ramanashram.
Good. We've been at Ramanashram. We've been in Tiru many, many times. Wonderful.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. Welcome, Mary. Good.
Okay.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
I'm Michael. I'm in Sebastopol, California. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, Michael. Good to see you. It was really nice having dinner with you the other night. At least we got to meet in person for the second time. Good, good. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, welcome Michael and Mary. Next we have Nicole, my guru sister, and Patricia.
Good afternoon. I'm Los Angeles, California. This is my time. It's beautiful new office practice. Thank you.
Very good.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. And we'll start soon. I just feel this introduction is really important because, like I say, we're trying to also just build community, that we're here in Ma's grace together and we stand by each other and support each other. So welcome, Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, everyone. This is Patricia from Boston.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, Patricia. Good. She's a professional co-host, you know. She co-hosted Pragya Satsang.
Jai Ma, welcome Patricia. And then we have Paul or Gulshan, and then Rachel, Rachael will be next.
Jai Ma, everyone. Gulshan from Washington, D.C. Glad to be here. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, Gulshan. Always good to see you. Gulshan was in India with us last time we went, which was, right at COVID, March 2020. We got back just as the whole world shut down.
It was great. Not that the world shut down, but it was great to be in India.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, welcome. Next we have Rachael, and then Rebecca.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted. Welcome, everyone, and it's so good to be here. This is Rachael from Mount Shasta. And thank you for the effort of always trying to pronounce my name right. Rachel is fine, though. Too.
Rachael.
Yeah, Rachael.
Beautiful. And we are planning on having satsang again, kirtan again in Mount Shasta. We at some indeterminate date, a safe date in the future.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. I'll spread the word for sure. Yeah, thank you so much for hosting this, both of you and all of you. It's just, it's such a joy I look forward to. So blessings to all. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, welcome. Next we have Joel Reed, or Reed Joel, and then Saraswati or Barbara.
Jai Ma, everybody. Good to see you today. My name is Reed, and I'm in Berkeley, California.
Good to see you, Reed. It was also nice to have dinner with you the other night.
Really nice.
Yeah, we had a fun time.
Hello, everyone. I'm Saraswati, and I am in East Aurora, New York. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma Saraswati. Welcome. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma Saraswati. Next, we have Aloha from Kauai, Sue, and then Vivian.
Yes, aloha. You stole my line. And this is Sue. Jai Ma. Glad to be here.
Good to see you, Sue. I remember the breakfast we all had together in Kauai too.
Aloha.
I just wanted to say hi. You said Rebecca, but then it went to someone else, so I just wanted to.
Oh.
Yeah, Rebecca from Boston, introduced to Ma by Prajna. Very grateful. Just wanted to
Welcome, Rebecca. Jai Ma.
Hi. Jai Ma, this is Vivian calling from, zooming in from Marin. Nice to be here with you all today.
Good to see you, Vivian.
Good to see you, Glorian.
We're neighbors.
Yeah. Yes, I want to go to dinner with everybody when you go next time.
And we didn't look into that, because we're being very careful with going on walks with people. But occasionally, we'll definitely meet again.
Yes. Okay.
Jai Ma, welcome, Vivian. And then we have Yanaba. I'm going to then try to scroll through and see if we missed anybody.
I'm Yana from Hilo, Hawaii.
Jai Ma, Yana, always good to see you. Good to see you. I'm happy I've met a lot of the people here and feel very blessed that all of you are here. So what a great group. It's really nice. So now
well, there's one more. Darshan joined.
I have one here. We have a latecomer here. This is my beautiful wife who's capable, Jyoti, who's capable of introducing herself.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Oh, Darshan.
Darshan, why don't you start your video? Go up the upper right-hand corner and go start video.
I'm stepped out, but I saw this email and I thought I'd at least see your performance.
Well, it's not that's something really good to see you. Good to see you, Darshan. You were in India last session. You were back.
Yes. I just came back from India 10 days back.
Oh, I'm very happy you joined us. Good to see you.
Yes. I was fortunate to go to Ma's ashram in Pune a few times.
Good.
Wow.
Good. That's a good place. Wonderful place. Good. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, welcome, Darshan. Next, I think we had Margaret, but I don't know if I missed her or not. Margaret?
Somebody just came late too. Margaret, are you there?
Aloha.
Margaret,
hi. I'm here in Dayton, Ohio now.
Oh.
So I'm happy to be here and see everyone and feel everyone's love for Ma.
Good.
That's
the idea.
She's so sweet.
So let's go ahead and start. As we said, if you came late, we did give the specified warning that we are recording this, and Rainey will post it on a YouTube channel that she made. Just again, it's not for a big public thing. It's just for anyone who missed it before, who wants to refer back to it, who wasn't able to make it. So we ask your permission to be recording, and we hope it doesn't keep you from participating, because later on we'll have a discussion. We want everybody just to feel free to, again, we're all family here and we're sharing it with family, and the people who watch it will be Ma devotees. So, feel free to speak openly. So I always like to start with this. We're here because we've been called by Anandamayi Ma. She said we can't think of her unless she thinks first of us. So by Ma's grace, we're all here. And I'd like to read Ma's own words saying how she is very much here. She was here before we got here. Ma says, I am ever with each one of you, wherever you happen to be, whether on Zoom or not. But your vision is tied down to worldly matters, and you have little time to direct your eyes to this body and your thoughts and actions. What can I do? But know it for certain that whatever you do in thought and deed, whether you are near or in distant lands, never escapes my loving attention. Just as at a flash of torchlight, your faces gleam forth in their bold outlines, all your facial expressions appear in my mind when you meditate on me or talk about me or sit down to pray to me. So Ma sees us from her divine realm now, sees everything about us. No, I just think that's okay. Yeah. So we like to always start with this simple kirtan, Om Ma Sharanam. And we Sharanam. Oh, sorry, dear, thank you. Very good. Remind me afterwards to turn it off. This simple kirtan, again, we're intellectually thinking of Ma's words in this time and her life, but in our hearts, through singing, we can tune into her presence. So let's just try to tune into Ma's presence in our hearts and with us in this group. As we sing Om Ma Sharanam. Sharanam is a place of refuge. Shri Anandamayi Mata ki jai. Om Ma Sharanam. 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 Anandamayi Ma, 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 Anandamayi Ma. Anandamayi Ma, 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 Anandamayi Ma. Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma, Anandamayi Ma. Om Ma Sharanam, 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 Om Ma Sharanam. Om Ma Sharanam, 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 Om Ma Sharanam. Om Ma Sharanam, 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 Om Ma. Sharanam Om Ma. Om Ma 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 Sharanam 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 Om Ma Sharanam. And together one last time. Om Ma Sharanam. Om Ma Sharanam. Om Ma Sharanam. Om Ma Sharanam. Om Ma. So let's sit quietly for a moment and just feel Ma's presence. Tune into Ma's presence with us here. So I like to always read some excerpts from Ma's life to see how Ma lived in this world, which we all are stuck in. This is a couple, these are 2 or 3 excerpts that are kind of related about how Ma not just related to human beings, but also to plants, to animals. Everyone had their eyes on Ma. So here she says, this is from the book Anandamayi Ma As I Have Known Her by Naren Chowdhury. And he says, we were in Nainital in Ma's company. The next day, this is 8th June 1937, in the afternoon when the sun was still glittering in the treetops, Ma suddenly said, let us all go out and have a stroll along the road on the bank of the lake. The whole party with Ma came out and proceeded along the tarred road on the bank of the lake. There were lofty trees alongside the road, and at intervals there were wooden benches for sitting. After going a long distance, Ma said, let us return now. Ma sat for a while on one of the benches to rest. From Ma's somewhat restless movement and expectant look, it was plain that she was looking for something. Suddenly Ma stood up, exclaiming, let us go back now. When we had proceeded a few paces towards our lodgings, a little sparrow fell down right at Ma's feet from an adjacent tree, and was waving its wings on the ground restlessly. A Kashmiri boy was standing close to Ma. She ordered the boy to lift up the sparrow from the ground. The boy lifted the bird and placed it on the palm of his hand, held it close to Ma's eyes. I was standing quite near. As the incident appeared to be somewhat unusual, I was closely observing Ma and the sparrow. I clearly saw that the bird with his tiny eyes was looking at Ma's face, and Ma was looking back with evident affection. The wings of the sparrow were shaking. Gradually the motion of the shaking wings slowed down, and the bird became still. Its eyes also closed. It was clear that the bird was dead. Ma now ordered the boy to place the bird on the ground. The boy obeyed Ma by carefully laying the dead body of the bird on the brink of the lake. That same night, after our meal, we were sitting on our blankets spread around Ma's bed, on which she sat. We inquired of Ma about the sparrow that died in Ma's presence, after it had gazed at Ma and Ma gazed at it. Ma gave the brief reply, it was longing for darshan. In that short reply, I found the solution of a very difficult question of mine. At that time, I had been putting mentally before Ma the question, Ma, self-satisfied as you are in the self, there is nothing that you want to know, hear, see, learn, or acquire. Why then do you, at so great pains, travel in trains by third class and go about everywhere? Because if you don't know, Ma, from 1932 to 1982, for 50 years, Ma traveled ceaselessly. Never in one place more than a few weeks. I mean, one time we spent 2 weeks at a place. Always in the move. This curt reply of Ma, it was longing for darshan, explained to me that our Anandamayi Ma, calm and contented as she always is, moves about so restlessly and everywhere only to give darshan and thereby release hundreds of her devotees from cycles of birth and death, wherever they are and whatever their form, man, animal, bird, or tree, who have been longing eagerly for the liberating darshan. Jai Ma. Isn't that beautiful? That bird, how lucky to die looking at Ma's face. Wow. We'd all be so lucky. And here's another one. Mataji was, this is from one of Atmananda's books, As a Flower Sheds Its Fragrance. Mataji was taking her evening stroll on the terrace of the Varanasi ashram overlooking the Ganga, while a number of people stood lined up on either side. Mataji had just told me something, and I, prostrated, bowed to the ground. She did not notice it, as she had already turned to see someone else. She suddenly stepped backwards with her right foot on my back. For a second, my mind stopped functioning, becoming dazed. Then thoughts started pouring in. What was this? Ma had nearly fallen, had literally walked over me, yet there had been no pain, no weight, no pressure. It felt as if a hand had lightly touched my back. How is this possible? I stood up and as quickly as I could. Does it hurt much? Asked Ma. No, not at all. How light you are. I could hardly speak for amazement. Very light? Laughed Ma and walked away. The weight of a flower, remarked an old sannyasi who had witnessed the incident. There was another time where Ma was had been arranged, she was in a first class, they had arranged a first class compartment for her in a train, and some of her brahmacharis were in a third class compartment and back, and as the train started, suddenly saw Ma was on the platform, and she said, pull me up. And there was all this luggage in the door, and so one of them reached out and pulled up Ma over this baggage. So he sat with them in the third class compartment. But she said it was like, literally like a flower. She pulled up Ma's weight with one hand. She pulled her up on the train over the baggage in the way. And she had no weight. Okay, but this is what I wanted to read this for. Bricks and other building material had been heaped up in a corner of the ashram courtyard. One afternoon at about 2 or 3 o'clock, Ma suddenly rushed out of her room and walked straight towards that pile of rubble, shouting, quickly, remove all this. Some plants are being choked underneath. Those present at once set to work. Sure enough, 5 pomegranate plants were found hidden below the bricks. No one had remembered that they were there. Mataji explained, when I was lying on my bed resting, these plants came to me, pleading for their lives, drawing my attention to the fact that they were in danger of being suffocated. All is alive, and Ma is the mother of all. So we see a bird that was longing for darshan, a plant that was longing for Ma's darshan. And one last quick one. We see how this is also by Atmananda. Atmananda was an Austrian lady who came to Ma right before World War II and stayed with her to the end of her life. I knew her. The last private I had with Ma, she translated, and she was totally devoted, and her diaries are a real source of instruction and inspiration for us. And this is the way that Ma would sometimes Ma always had a very playful manner. She could be very severe in her demands of sadhaks, what the rules were and the bar you had to come up to. But she always delivered everything with such a motherly sweetness that it was just sugar-coated, But this is kind of one of the spontaneous ways Ma would instruct. Anyway, I put a note here. Atmananda was plagued with a very quick temper that caused her much suffering during her many years of India. In this event, we see how Ma began its deep correction in a playful way. So Atmananda would get so angry sometimes rightly so, at the treatment she got. But it was something she worked with over the years, and Ma really helped her with it. So Atmananda says, one morning Mataji came with a satsang tin and distributed flowers and garlands to the few people present. She was in a joking mood, and there was talk and laughter. taking up a bougainvillea twig, she said, "How beautiful, look, the leaves are gerua." Gerua is the color that Swami sannyasis wear, and Abhinanda was wearing gerua. So now this is the dialogue that goes back and forth between Abhinanda and Ma. "In my country, all leaves become gerua in autumn," I remarked. "In your country," said Ma, "which is your country?" "Where I used to be before I came to India." "Before?" questioned Mataji. "What does it mean? And before that, where were you?" "With you." "With me? How do you know?" "You know." "How do you know that I know?" "I don't know." "How do you know that you don't know?" And then Abhinanda says, "I don't know anything. I'm a fool." "How do you know that you are a fool?" Ma asked. "Now I have to become silent." "And what will be the use of this silence?" "Idle talk and nonsense will remain unsaid." "And to what good?" "I don't know, Ma." Mataji said, "You don't know?" Again you repeat that you don't know. "Has one who does not know anything the right to become angry? One who knows gets angry because this or that is not as it should be. But a fool cannot be angry since he does not know how things should be. Always remember," and Ma said this smiling, "always remember that you are a fool, therefore you cannot become angry. It is the I that gets angry, and it is the I that has to be dropped." Then she's speaking in Hindi. "Then the fool, which is buddhu, may become perhaps enlightened, buddha." So she says, drop this I, and the buddhu becomes buddha. I play with words like this a lot. "Anyway, bear in mind that you know nothing, and therefore there is no rhyme or reason in getting angry. Then the I will go, and Atmananda may become revealed." Atmananda means the bliss of the self. Mataji handed me the bougainvillea twig and said, "Pluck all the petals that are gerua, dry them and keep them. The dried flowers are still with me." Isn't that beautiful? So this is very typical of Ma's way of just her repartee, how she would very playfully give instruction, and it was really, really beautiful. And when I had several so-called privates with Ma, where if you ask Ma, "I want to speak in private, can I speak to you?" She would always arrange a time, and she would call you at that time. And at the time, now I speak Hindi, but at the time I didn't speak Hindi, so or Bengali, so I'd have to have a translator. So it'd just be me sitting, and then one translator and Ma up there, and many times in the conversation, I would ask something, and Ma would turn it in a way that was for my benefit, where she, "Oh yeah, and how about this?" Blah 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 blah. So she had a way of just taking your words and revealing your own mind to you through your own words. It was an amazing way of teaching. Ma had a unique and playful and motherly, but also very profound way of teaching. So, yes, the question? Oh, thank you. Yeah. There we go. So those are our excerpts from Ma's life as we think of her life. I used to teach a class on Ma's life for years at our school in India to the children, the Indian children, the village children. And I had extensive notes. That's how I wrote my book about her. Extensive notes in all these different books, all sorts of information about Ma's life. And I'd always say at the beginning, everything that Ma did is a lesson because she had no personal karma. She said many times, this body, which you see, is not born from karma the way your body is. We are, in a sense, puppets of our karma. Our karma, our actions we've done in the past have brought us the body we have to fulfill the destiny we have. But Ma was a visitor from a totally different plane. She came down because mankind called her, and she had no personal karma. So she was not, like if we get up and walk across the room, it's because our karma has demanded it. It was something to fulfill in our karma. Ma had none of that. So it was totally free. And it was interesting. This freedom came across even in her movements. Like just the way she walked, the gait of her walk. I remember one time sitting in Kanpur and watching Ma. I was sitting very close to her, and she was explaining something to somebody. And just the movement of her hand, it was a manifestation of utter freedom. I can't put into words other than that. It was just something that couldn't be explained, just utter freedom. So Ma had no karma. So everything she did was either in response, a loving response to someone's needs, or it was an example for us. So at this class I taught in our school in India, we would take each incident in Ma's life and just study it and see, what does this teach us? How is Ma responding by doing this? How is she teaching us how to act in the future? And it was wonderful. The kids loved it. We always had so much fun. And I made it relevant to them because they were all very young, and they were in Ma school, and they've been their karma to be here. So I wasn't just fooling with them. I really believe this. I would say it many times. I would say, all of you have come to Ma so young. No doubt you were with her in your last life while she was alive. And they'd all say, oh yeah, yeah. And so sometimes I talk about an incident, and they say, yeah, and we were there too. So that was nice. Okay, so we've read about Ma's life. So now let's hear Ma's words. So I asked Pragya in Boston. She's also the author of the book Mother of Bliss, which is a beautifully researched, beautifully written book about Ma. I highly recommend. It's one of the standards in Ma's literature now. But she is now has another book at the publisher in which it's this previously unpublished satsangs of Ma, spanning a space of years. So it's going to be a huge contribution to the literature on Ma and the words of Ma that we have. So I asked Pragya now to give us a nice reading from her book.
Oh, Jai Ma, thank you so much. So today's reading is from it's from tape number 62. It's from 1975, a Samyam Saptaha. So it's coming from a retreat that was held every year. And Ma is, taking questions and answers at this time. So I chose this. It's a little bit of a long reading, 3 pages, but it covers something that I've always been really, really wanting clarification on, which is this concept of ahetuk kripa. Ahetuk kripa means causeless grace, grace that has been unsolicited. You haven't asked for it, you haven't deserved it, it just comes showering. And Ma often speaks of Hetuk Kripa, and in this case, she's explaining it to someone who is asking a question. Is everything okay, Mangalananda? I see you looking.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just got a message that 2 people are still in the waiting room, but I'll look at the participants. I can't find where they are. Do you know anything about that?
I just let them in. They're good.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt, Pragya. Go ahead.
Oh, that's okay. I could see that you were looking at something. Okay. So the question being asked to Ma, the questioner says, why is God kind to his bhakta, his devotee? Does he want anything in return for his grace? Shri Ma, no, Ma laughs. He showers his grace without any motive, selfishness, or desire for return. It is called ahetuk kripa, undeserved grace. It is his grace that you were created by him. Only by his grace do you have the desire to go to him, to attain him. How is he benefited by creating you or by inspiring you to obtain him? It is only you who is benefited and not he. As this body has already said, one can only obtain God in this human body. That is why he very kindly gave you this human body. He is giving you this body so that you may take yourself to be his instrument and try to attain him with your thinking and your imagination. Then you will never fall into any calamity. You will face no danger. If you have him always in your mind, you will never fall into any misery and you will go straight away to reach him. He has arranged one more thing for you. He says that if you continue on this worldly path, you will be caught in a vicious cycle. But you want to obtain that Shanta Swarupa, all peace. Yet you try all the time to gain knowledge of this and that. In Mano Raja, the kingdom of the mind, you want to have all kinds of information about the world. There is moha, infatuation between one jiva and another jiva, one bound soul and another bound soul. And in that moha lies the fall. The real all knowledge is he. There is prema, divine love between jiva and Shiva. And with that, Prema Bhagavan, the God of love, is contacted. You are seeing light. With this light, you will see that divine light. But as of now, along with this light, you also see darkness. Because you have this Atma Jyoti, this spiritual light in you, you have questions. You hear all of these teachings from these great men on how to know your own self. It is all due to Ahetuk Kripa. Due to that grace, you are able to see the correct way. If you speak the truth will manifest. And if you tell a lie, falsehood will manifest. Therefore, this Ahetuk Kripa is always with you. And who has blessed you with this Kripa? Only He. It is He who created you, and He had no motive. This is also a form of Ahetuk Kripa. He has given you so much power that you are able to realize all these things even when you are still in Manoraja, the realm of the mind. Only due to His grace are you attracted to the truth. You are attracted to Shanti, peace, Jnana, knowledge, and Ananda, bliss. You have also realized that all actions are the outcome of negative thoughts, negative knowledge, negative pleasure, and negative intellect. You know what good and what bad are. Who has realized all these things? Only He who is there in you in the form of yourself. Now you see, you have this attitude of mine and yours. This is the voice of Aham. And this is the small Aham with a small a, the ego. In the end, what remains? Vah, the absolute alone. Ahamkara, ego, means aham kriya, action resulting from the ego. When there is any action, it occurs in the kingdom of the mind, Manoraja. Above this Manoraja, there is only Aham, I am, God. Where there is no other kriya separate from Aham, then the Aham acts within itself. The self gives to the self. Then that Aham gives everything to the self. What are these Mahatmas doing? These great beings, the people who are speaking at the Saptaha. They're giving knowledge. To whom? To themselves. Had they not thought you to be the self, they would not have given you this knowledge. They would have never spoken to you saying, Baba, do this and do that. But they advise you to do the things that will give you happiness, bring you bliss, and take you to that Paramapada, supreme place of moksha, liberation. You have done something good, and these people are giving you the fruits of it as a result. And they're not doing so with any motive or selfishness. They're giving grace to you selflessly. It is Ahetuk Kripa. One of you said yesterday that action does not manifest God. You said that action does not establish the self in the self. The question is, what kind of action does not manifest God? An action performed in Manoraja, the realm of the mind. Action performed in the self does manifest God, but you also have to do the first kind of action. Why? Without that action, you can't remove the avaran, the veil of ignorance. You do have that eternal light in you, but it is veiled, and that is why it is not visible to you. Remove that veil and you will see that light. But to remove that veil, you must act. You need to read the Bhagavad Gita and the scriptures and do other noble works. Why? Just to remove the avaran. Once that avaran is removed, you will have the darshan of unbounded space. When this avaran is removed, that self will be manifested. This action performed in Manoraja is Hetuk Kriya, an action performed with some motive. And whatever the Hetuk Kriya can do, still the Ahetuk Kripa, God's grace without cause, is at work. It continues in the self and without any motive. Ahetuk Kriya, action with no motive, goes on in the self forever. When someone does sadhana or yoga, he activates that Ahetuk Kriya in the self. His Kriya in the self is fortified by the Ahetuk Kriya working within that self. You know, there are a number of systems and methods. The path of bhakti, the path of knowledge, the path of Kriya. While moving ahead in one of those paths, one will receive some enlightenment. But they realize that this much enlightenment cannot be the result of their limited action. They think, have I done all this? No, it's impossible. My action alone cannot have produced this great result. But yet you will come to see that light. This is Ahetuk Kripa. Suffering, dukkha, is of two kinds. One is suffering in the kingdom of worldly pleasure. It is the suffering coming from vasana, karmic imprint, that causes one to regret not having a thing of the world that he longed for. The other kind of suffering is when the devotee becomes miserable, realizing that he is unable to achieve God. He thinks, each and every moment is passing by day, the time is running out, and I'm unable to attain him. This dukkha is different from the previous one. This dukkha will lead you toward the attainment of God. It will manifest that sukha swarupa, God as sweetness to you. Sometimes the first dukkha manifests the second dukkha. It is dukkha that makes you pray to God. This is also arranged in that way only by him. After all of this action is only he. So when you pray to him, instigated by some feeling of lack, it is also only his inspiration. It is said that he takes the responsibility on himself to provide it to you. Now you understand what is meant by ahetuk kripa, God's grace without a cause. In Mano Raja, the kingdom of the mind, we do not get only what we ask for, we get much more than what we ask for. He provides so much that one cannot even describe it. This is ahetuk kripa, but one is unable to realize that until one reaches a particular state. Once we reach that state, we shall clearly see the fruits and his grace. Everything is done by hetuk kriya, an action performed with some motive. There is also ahetuk kriya, an action performed without motive, but a person is unable to grasp it until he reaches that state. Therefore, it is said that it is he who exists in is as well as in is not. It is he who happens, and it is he who does not happen. Only this body telling you about it will not help you out unless you have reached that stage of spirituality. And Ma ends the answer with a huge laugh. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, thank you, Pragya. Wow, what a great reading. So much information. I don't know where to start on that. But let me just share, because this also brought to mind what it was like to be at the Samya Sapta. I was at a Samya Sapta with Ma in November of 1973, I think, in the Vrindavan ashram. And it's true, we waited throughout the day. There was talks by different Mahatmas. You had strict fasting, very simple fare. It was, Ma said she wanted people to observe some asceticism for this 1 week and then try to bring more of that into their daily lives. And it was a very joyful gathering, very wonderful. All of Ma's devotees there, the whole floor filled with asanas. And we just waited every night for the Mati Satsang, because I think it was, she would come a little before 8:45, and then we would, a lot of times she would sit all day on the stage while the people spoke. So we would just sit and look at her. But she would come for the Mati Satsang, and then people would ask questions like this, and hopefully get her to speak long times like this. And it was just so joyful. And there was so much laughter, and she would have the Mahatmas answer questions, and she would answer questions. And I remember reading one time, someone asked Ma, we're meditating in front of you with our eyes closed. We're meditating on you. What are you meditating on? And she laughed. She said, I'm meditating on you. And that was true too, because I remember we had group meditation for an hour, morning and evening, with Ma sitting there. And I remember one time I looked, and I opened my eyes a little bit and peeked, and she would just slowly scan her eyes from one person to the other. She would look at every single person while they were meditating and give them blessing. And I remember it was so vivid. I remember I saw her like starting at the beginning of the row I was on. So I kept my eyes closed. I'm meditating. And suddenly I felt like my consciousness just like expanded and lifted and was full of this divine energy. And I realized Ma's looking at me. And after a couple of minutes, we went down to my normal level. But just having Ma's eyes on you was just like, filled you with this incredible consciousness. But anyway, okay, so we just have this wonderful reading. So Ma's talking about this causeless grace, which ultimately is the grace that takes us to the divine, and how any action we do prompted by the ego is an action that leads to bondage, but any action done by the prompting of the soul is a cause of grace. So I like to this point, let's open the floor up to anybody who would like to speak. If you want to comment on the reading or talk about the reading or question or anything you want to talk about related to Ma, I'm happy to hear. So anybody have any thoughts?
We have so many people, like 40 people. Do you think we can do the raise hand function under the reactions? and then I'll call on people.
Yeah, is that? I guess that's better than just people racing to see who unmute first. How do you is the hand raising hand thing? Is it one of these buttons at the bottom?
It's under reactions. And
There's a
we have
button
one
called
hand up.
reactions at the bottom.
Okay. So see, at the bottom of the screen, there's reactions. I see. It's a second from the right. So reactions, you push that, and you can raise your thumb or something. Oh, raise hand. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. If anyone wants to speak, just go to reactions and then click on raise hand, and Rainu will call you. Okay. But please don't be shy. We're here. We're one family. Let's talk about Mom.
We have one hand up already from Broderick.
Okay. Let's hear.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much last month for your comment. So for context for folks, so I was trained as a psychologist, and last month, I think you said, what did you say? You said, in one way or another, we are all mentally ill. And that struck me like lightning, and I can't really get off of that point in my daily life and in my professional life, and that's really changed in really beautiful ways. And because I'd always kind of felt I don't know, trying to fit my spirituality into a suit and tie, if that makes sense. And now moving more into my identity as more of a meditation teacher. I'm getting more so into teaching in that way, whether it's one-on-one. And fingers crossed, I may have booked my first retreat. So fingers crossed on that. But this question that I have is, I think, quite important. I'm really curious about mantra and noticing the difference between when I'm sitting with someone and I have some of that ego anxiety, am I real? I need to make myself real right now. And I noticed that really blocking the soul connection between myself and others, whether I'm teaching or just interacting with friends or just really anyone. So I really want to just hear y'all's thoughts on that remembrance, really remembering the truth of formlessness and really being able to interact with everyone as if they are Ma in a true sense. I feel that wall and veil of ego. And yeah, I'm just curious about experiences and challenges remembering that.
Well, Ma, and the last thing she said in the satsang that Pragya just read, she said, you won't be able to understand this till you reach this certain yogic level. You can understand it intellectually. And it is true. The deeper we go in our daily private practice through our own meditation and begin to feel ourselves as part of that divine consciousness, then only we can be deeper with other people externally. Because if we just go straight out to another person, it's just ego touching ego. We're separate, we're two bubbles banging against each other, but the more we begin, and this does come through sustained meditation. Ma always use the phrase sustained effort. In our sustained effort of our daily practice, we do begin to experience ourselves on a deeper level. We do experience the I as more boundless. We do feel ourselves as part of life. And as the side effect of that, as we then go through the day, we will feel more the life in plants, the life in animals, the life in other people as our own. We will start to experience it. And only then can we really relate to people on that level and really see them as Ma. But we can try intellectually now. If the more we kind of just try to put aside the ego and feel our own consciousness, and then look at that person with a still mind in the present moment, and really intellectually at least try to understand, we're one, we have the same consciousness, we're from the same consciousness, then we can really relate to people well. And in your profession, you'll be able to help people a lot more. You'll be able to really touch people on a deeper level. But it's all up to what our attainment is in our daily practice. So we have to keep plugging on that one. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you so much. Those because I'm glitching. It's frustrating to the ego to glitch in and out of that, But what you said about having your mind still, I will definitely notice my mind is more still. I feel more connected to really everything.
Yeah, more like before you maybe have a session with someone, just be sure, like you're saying a mantra, you let your mind still, and then the more you kind of just pull yourself in the present moment and just be present there as presence, then you can relate to the person on a deeper level.
Thank you.
Good, yeah. And if anybody else has another answer to this, I'm happy to hear. I will say about mantras, it made me think of an experience I had meeting a person when I was on tour in Europe. We met a man named Vincenzo in southern Switzerland, right near the Italian border. He invited us to give a concert for his students, and we went to him for 2 years. And the man was and is a living saint. And what he did was, he for many, many years has been he works with the government and with different psychological agencies, and they send him young people who are trying to get off drugs and alcohol, and because of that, have had a lot of psychological problems, some really scrambled up kids. He takes them into his own home. He takes a group of about 6 or 8 at a time and works with them only with mantras, no drugs, no other psychological stuff. And they chant mantras morning and evening. They meditate on mantras together. Then he kind of counsels them, and basically also his love, his patience. He takes them through the day. They go to the gym together, work out, they go swimming together, they work together. He really talks to them. He heals them through mantras. And he has like an 85% success rate of no return, where they don't go back to drugs, they don't go back to alcohol, they just continue their life. And we spent days with him, and we sang with him at night. We watched him. And like I say, his patience and his love with these kids was incredible. But his one tool of healing was mantra. So if you can use that, Broderick, also in your practice, just using mantras to chant with people, to give to them and things, it's a good tool. It works.
Thank you.
Jema, any other hands up?
My own hand is up.
Okay, go for it, Rainu.
First of all, if anybody has anything to say, please feel free to do that, because I know Pragya Ji and Mangalananda Ji want this to be kind of a forum for all of us to really express what's on our minds and get some assistance from our group. So please be thinking about anything you want to share, because there's nobody else hands up besides mine. But I do have 2 questions. One for Pragya Ji, which is, you said, just for reference, if we need to go back to those Harvard Divinity School tapes, that the one you were talking about was tape 62. Is that right? Today? The one that you read from today?
That's right.
Okay. Because I really love that, and it was packed, and I'm definitely going to go back.
I know. I guess Ma wanted me to read the whole thing. I kept trying to make it shorter, and I couldn't. But yes, the whole tape is on the Harvard Archive. For anybody who, this is an amazing resource. You can go to the Harvard Archive, especially if you speak Hindi. Do you speak Hindi, Rainu?
Yeah, I do.
So
Yeah.
wouldn't it be wonderful to listen to this and then, just let her voice and her words, take you.
That's going to be the huge perk of your book when it comes out. We can look at the lecture. It's going to have the tape numbers on there, right, on each lecture.
Correct.
So when Pragya's book comes out, we can take this very well translated, smooth English translation of what Ma is saying, and then listen to the tape and hear Ma's wonderful voice laughing and talking and know what she's saying. It's really fantastic. Yeah.
It's true. One of the things that I always want to tell people is, even though the words sound serious, Ma is laughing through half of all of these questions and answers. The lightness with which she's speaking can't be, you can't read it in the words. So to listen, just to listen, even if you don't understand Hindi is a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Rainu, you had a second question?
Yeah. I speak Punjabi more anyway, but I'll be looking forward to doing what Mangalananda Ji said when your next book comes out. And yeah, the question, both myself and one other person who may or may have had to leave early, also for reference later, is the reading that you did, Mangalananda Ji. Is there some place we can access that one as well from Atmananda about anger and stuff, because that was really key for me. Is like I have this situation in my life right now, which, well, not just right now, it's going to be for a long period of time, which I cannot get out of. It's some seva is required in this situation, and it causes me anger. And I really don't want to be angry ever, and it's beyond my control, and it's something I really, really struggle with anger. And I'm asking constantly to Maharaji and Ma to remove that anger from my heart. And I just want to know more about that and how to invite more of that. And maybe that coincides too with what Pragya ji read about the windfall of grace and the actions that we do and how to access more of that grace I'm just longing to get rid of this feeling that I have, this angry feeling.
Yeah, that excerpt I read was from the book called As the Flower Sheds Its Fragrance by Atmananda. I think it's on Amazon. It's a highly recommended book of just her memories of satsangs and things Ma said. The mantra also is a great tool for that. Mantra is an all-purpose tool. When you feel anger arising, I can tell you my own experience. When you feel anger or any strong emotion, any strong and negative emotion, it's going to be there. It's going to start affecting the body too. But if you just write down and say, okay, say your mantra, and you just say the mantra even out loud, or go for a walk and say it. And if you drop the mantra into that whirlpool of anger that's going on, really, you'll see amazing effects. It really will be Ma's presence taking it, because there's one level we can't control anger. We're so identified with it, but the mantra is divine healing energy and vibration, so it can deal with it. Yeah.
Okay, I do like mantras like almost constantly. It's really sick, but it's it's just something I've been struggling for years with, and it just won't go away despite how much mantra I do.
Well, it's the human condition we're all stuck in. We have to just keep working on it. Yeah, full sympathy. Yeah, we're all there. We all have the same problem. Yeah. But Ma's grace, and it is true, your desire to access that grace more, that's the right solution also. Say the mantra, pray to Ma, pray to Maharaj, and you will receive grace. And you just have to keep working with it. It's the test. Ma always says, is everything that comes to us is the exact thing we need to be experiencing to learn and have the test. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like more people have. Does that help, Renu?
It does. Thank you so much.
Okay. And there's some more hands up, I thought. I think it's still on the message.
Yes. Arpita Ji is up next.
Sorry. Hi.
Yeah.
So, just another way to deal with anger that I have found useful, and a teaching of mindfulness and awareness, and to be able to be with your anger and not really, if it makes sense, not to take it so seriously and not to identify it as yourself, but rather just like clouds in the sky. The clouds come and go, they change shape. And to think of, to have some distance from the anger in terms of, because you tend to, like the Buddha talked about the second arrow, like the first arrow would be anger, and then the second arrow would be your anger with the angriness, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
And then also to feel it in your body, like where is it in your body? Not to analyze it or pick it apart mentally, but to really like body, like an embodied awareness of where in your body you're feeling the anger. Is it like in your jaw? Is it a tenseness in your face, in your heart, in your stomach? And then tuning into that awareness and feeling it, the presence of it in your body, somehow it takes it out of the realm of identification with the cause as you see it of the anger, but rather the embodied sensations. And then you kind of watch those sensations like you would the clouds in the sky, how the clouds change just like the sensations change, and you just sort of watch it, and then just also to have some self-love for you for that, like not to be angry with yourself, not to judge yourself for having the anger, but to feel compassion for yourself. You know, it's a painful experience. Nobody wants to feel painful emotions. And if you had a little girl or a little boy and they were angry and they were throwing a fit, you know, how would you respond to that child? Would it be with anger? Would it be with judgment? Or would it be with compassion and love? So to think of yourself in that way and hold yourself in that regard, kindness of love.
Thank you. That helps a lot, actually.
That's really nice. Yeah, this is, like Randy, like you said, this is what we want. This is our community. We share and help each other. That's really, thank you, Avita. That's beautiful.
You're welcome.
Another question? Or, you know, not just a question, if somebody wants to share something, a comment, anything.
And I want to say something,
Yeah, Frank.
if you can hear me.
Yeah.
I know that we all deal with anger, including myself. And anger has been something that I guess we've all have dealt with at one time. Sometimes it goes to the extreme. And there's been times where I have gotten so mad at a person or a situation, and I'll just come to my room, or I'll, like you said, you know, take a walk or do something. And I'll come and I'll sit with it. And as I noticed, even with that anger, underneath that anger, I feel peace. Even though I know I'm angry, there's something there that's not feeling the effect of the anger. Because I'm not the anger. The anger is a concept. So because it's a concept, it doesn't exist. It only exists the moment I bring it to my attention. So I know that with the anger, I also use the mantras. Mantras are very powerful, and they're very strong. And the way you use the mantra is you can chant it, you know, out loud, or you can chant it softly or in your mind. And so the moment that you and the mantra start chanting, you and the mantra become one. So you, the inner you, and the sound of the mantra becomes you. So you and the sound of that energy become one. So for anybody to see Anandamayi Ma in other people, or to see Ma in other people, you have to become Ma yourself. You have to see Ma in yourself before you start seeing Ma in others. And with helping with the mantra of Ma, Om Ma, or other mantras, they will help you see yourself as being of light, because you are Brahman. You are the ultimate divine. There's nothing really going on. The only thing that's going on is the battle in the mind. Because when I'm asleep, everything goes away. I no longer exist in the body. So who am I? But I am the aware of the dream. So I know that I am that. I am Soham. I know that I'm that. Because when I'm asleep, all my problems, everything goes away. I'm not even the body. I'm not even Frank. Somebody can tell me in that dream, hey, Frank, what's going on? And I'm like, you're dreaming. I'll be like, no, I'm not dreaming. But as soon as I wake up, the world appears. So that moment the world appears, everything appears, including my anger and all my issues. So I know that my thoughts, my mind, my emotions are not my emotions. There has been a study, actually. I want to find it because I read it, but I can't find it. But there has been a study that they did in a university where they put a machine on not on the head, but above the head, where they wanted to see what thoughts were. And they realized that thoughts were just images outside yourself. So the gurus from India have been knowing this for thousands of years. If you go read the Vedas, if you go read the Gitas, they have always said that your mind, your thoughts are not yours. So the moment the thought does not the thought does not care about you. You care more about the thought. So even then, when we realize that, hey, you know what? These thoughts, these waves are outside ourselves. They're not really inside ourselves. So why do we make a big fuss out of it? You know, if I know that I'm Brahman, then I should not be bothered by it. But I get bothered by it. And it's an emotion that comes.
It's really good,
But I
Frank.
don't call it anything.
If we have one other effect of our daily practices, we do get a distance, as you say, from our thoughts. We identify more with the witness of the thoughts. Because if that's trouble, we get angry, we become anger. And so we're just like thrown against the rocks as you go down the stream. But the more we feel ourselves separate, as you say, from the thought, then we can deal with it better. It's good.
Yeah.
Good advice. Thank you.
Yeah, it's so helpful. Thanks, Frank. Really awesome.
Thank
Is anyone else had a comment? Thank you, Frank. Jai Ma.
Yeah.
So next we have Crystal.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, Crystal, we hear you.
Hi, I just want to say something just on the physical level that may help renew. Liver herbs can help sometimes when the liver is doing a lot of work. Well, a lot of the time it can help make us angry. So something like milk thistle or globe artichoke or any liver herb may help a little bit. That's just my 2 cents worth. And thank you for your honesty. And it's very brave and really good to hear your honesty. Thank you.
Thank you, Crystal. Can you repeat what you said? I was having a little trouble hearing.
Oh, I was saying that on the physical level, liver herbs can help with anger sometimes. Maybe something extra you could try to, apart from the spiritual and the mental. Sometimes it's a physical thing as well that can contribute when our liver is not processing so well and we can get angry. I'm qualified as a herbalist, so there's just something else that maybe could make things a little easier or worth trying. Yeah.
Oh, very much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome.
So helpful. Love you all.
Thank you, Crystal. From New Zealand. Is it night there in New Zealand or early morning?
It's mid-morning. It's 11:30, so it's it's pretty good timing for me.
Well, other people have their hands up, or is it the Gita?
Yes, there's Gita. There's a couple more also, but we can go with Gita.
Yes, I just wanted to go back to what the reading was about Ahitya Kripa that Pragna read. Ahitya Kripa is also what Raman Maharshi called automatic divine activity. He said, grace is an automatic divine activity. When you surrender to it, the Ahitya Kripa just starts pouring towards you. And if you tie in all the discussion we had so far, whether we have anger or we are trying to, what Reddick said, he wanted to meet the other person at a more natural level or sort of be in presence. All that comes only when we start to surrender our little egos. And as we become more clear, or we become less egocentric, like Swami Mangalananji said, it's an automatic thing that happens, that our own mind and our own reactions and our own personality starts receding in the background, and the divine starts working through this body or this mind or this voice, and others feel it, we feel it, and our bodies relax. We are not trying in any situation to prove our point or to say, I know what to do here, or I will tell you how to do it. And what happens is there is less of you there. If there's less of you there, then you don't have so much of conflict with the outside world. And when you don't have that, there is no need for anger there. There is no anger. It will become more and more difficult for you to bring up an angry reaction to something. You will just become a witness, you will watch it. But the whole thing, the whole key to it is your own meditation and how deeply you can go into surrendering. Raman Maharshi has said, place all your burdens at the feet of the Lord of the universe. And which I, in my own practice for last as many years as I know, when I started and I with emotionally disturbed children who just continuously throw anger at you. And I would come back after work and immediately go to the ashram and meditate there and be very quiet. And what I learned is what I had absorbed from the other people throughout the day, I started surrendering it to Bhagavan every day and saying, this is your burden, take it. And that helped me go back the next day to the same child who had abused me the day before with no reaction. And children were able to see it right away. That they can come into my classroom and I would have no residual reaction left. And that has been my practice throughout the years. And when I meet with someone that is in trouble, I would sit and meditate and I would say, Bhagavan, please, you come through this body, let me not be there. And if you remove yourself, whether you're doing the seva to your grandma or you're doing seva to somebody else, or you have a very, very, very difficult colleague to work with, if you remove yourself from there, that person's reactions also towards you will start slowing down and you will have no reason for anger. Thank you.
Thank you, Geeta. That's really beautiful and very profound. Yeah, I can say in my own spiritual practice of life, I find more and more the ultimate bottom line of all spiritual life is surrender. It's whether you're doing the Atma Vichara of Ramana Maharshi or it's Bhakti Yoga, the whole idea is, like you said, first, just trying to remember God more and more and bring God into it. Then you become less and less, this small little you. Your attention shifts from the little you to the big I of God or the big I of the self. And it is true, the more we get ourselves out of the way. And that the biggest tool that is surrender, just realizing, why I'm holding on to my individuality. I'm holding on to my desires. I'm holding on to my suffering. And the more we just let that go, however we think of it here, of course, at Ma's feet, we just let go and just truly moment by moment, breath by breath, surrender. And it is the ultimate solution to everything, because when we're out of the way, the divine moves through us in the right way, just as you said so beautifully. Thank you for that observation, Geeta. That's very, very beautiful. Yeah. Any other hands up?
Yes, there is Gulshan has his hands up.
Gulshan.
Yeah, Jema, I wanted to comment on the reading from As a Flower Sheds Its Fragrance from Atmananda, and that the talking about to Atmananda, what country are you from? From here, from Austria, wherever she was from, and the way Ma took that conversation. Well, like, where did you go before that? And where, she was loving but brutal. It was really tough. I mean, I could see myself in Atmananda's shoes. I'd probably say the same thing. I'd probably say, how do you know you don't know? I don't know, I'm a fool. Could fools get angry? No, they don't know anything. How can they get angry? I just found that so helpful to me. I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, thank you, Gulshan. Yeah, it's true. Like I said, Ma was, she was loving and kind to everyone. If people came and wanted to give their lives to God and wanted her guidance, she was severe. But it was, she would give rules, 1, 2, 3, try this observance, but it was always tempered with this sweet motherly love and with laughter, with kindness. Yeah, but she could kill the ego. Let me tell you, that was her job. She was the divine mother. The divine mother has a spear that puts in the demon's heart. The demon is the ahankara, the ego. So she could be very hard. Well, no, I wouldn't never use the word harsh. She could be demanding spiritually, but always sweet and loving and kind and understanding. Yeah, yeah. That was an intense thing, and very typical. Ma would just use words to just pull things out of you. Yeah, good. Anybody else have any questions? Any other hands up? I have a question. Is Ananda from Spain still there?
I think he just left.
Oh, I wanted to ask him what his contact with Ma was.
But Laura has her hand up.
Okay, Laura.
Can you hear me? No?
Oh, yeah, we hear you.
Okay, good. I was muted. The point, a very interesting the perspectives that we have been sharing are perspective from mind or whatever. Some of you did address body support. I'm a Ayurveda practitioner, so in a case of a person who's habitually reacts with anger, we consider this to be a pitta unbalance. Okay, so then yes, it is coming from the mind. Yes, it could be a very good reason, or it could be old anger that has nothing to do with what's going on now. But in any case, if you support that pitta to balance, pitta is your agni, is what gives you appetite, it's what gives you the zest, just go do it. But it's also when it's out of balance, it makes you very angry, irritable, and very impatient. You cannot be have any compassion because you're come on, you're playing on and or something like that. That is coming from this pitta high, pitta derangement, pitta unbalance. Now, how do you balance pitta? Is with food you try to avoid spicy stuff, okay? Very mild spices. Ginger any day. Ginger will not aggravate your pitta, but avoid pepper, avoid chili, avoid tomatoes, avoid citrus, avoid the spicy things that spark your anger. Those ones need to be avoided. So you're going to notice some differences there. Now the things that calm your pitta are things like sugary, some more sweet stuff, milk stuff, rice pudding with cardamom, excellent for pitta balance. Eat soups that are nourishing, nurturing, but don't have the spiciness or they're not too difficult to digest. No raw vegetables, please. Although they are very good, full of prana and everything else, but when your pitta is out of balance, the raw vegetables, anything chewing raw, which is wonderful other times, it will also encourage that pitta because it requires more fire. And so also avoid big exercise. Like excessive exercise is throws your pitta all over the place, and your vata and everything else. Now, but if you can consult an Ayurveda consultant is the best. If you have this kind of situation going on. Another thing that works for me mind-wise, my mantras, for sure, being absorbed by the mantra is one way to really get that dissipated. Another way to do it is keep remember, this is all a dream, okay? This is what I do. Oh my gosh, look what this poor kid, how can they treat him like that? It's one of the things that triggers my anger, mistreatment. And but then it's all a dream. It's a dream, okay? This kid has to go through this situation right now. He's learning a lesson. So accept life as it comes. God knows why this child has this karma today, and he's wrenching to see it. And if you can do something to help, by all means, go and help. But don't take it on you, to be reacting so hard to situations like that make you angry. And for Ranu, I would say, Ranu, definitely Pitta pushes your kapha, okay? Pitta is pushing kapha all the time like that. And so your kapha is going to increase. Kapha is the one that makes you put on weight. So you balance one, the other one is going to be balanced. And so everything will be balanced. And all doshas are good. It's good to have your anger, that enthusiasm, that zest for life. It's very good to have the ability to enjoy food and to keep it in your body, because it's your body. It's very good to have your vata, your mind active, and everything else. But in balance, everything is seeking that balance that will do it. And you're going to find that you're going to feel less angry.
Thank you. That's wonderful advice. We're getting advice from all sides, all the way from the liver to the Ayurvedic approach, of the balancing the doshas, the body, which is hugely important. Great. Thank you.
Very useful. Very useful.
Very good.
Muchas gracias, Laura. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I used to be very Pitta, Ranu. I was just a student. I had to get the A, and if I didn't get the A, why did I?
It's only for me. It's only one particular person that causes me this dukkha, this anger.
Then, darling, in this case, you need to go back and rescue the child. The first time that someone like this, her, him, this child, make you angry. Okay, this is work with your mind that you have to do, and then rescue that child that got so frustrated that this samskara, this strong pattern of behavior has been set, and then now you just come from that. You talk about living from the unconscious mind. The unconscious mind is like this, and the conscious mind is like that. You want to turn it around, you want to have the unconscious mind become aware. It doesn't have to be disappearing, or, if it happened to you, it happens to whatever. Acceptance is a big one. It was for me. Acceptance, that's the way this person is, okay? I don't have to deal with it. Breathe, do your mantra, and don't eat chiles, and don't go exercising hard, okay? Because that vitiates that pitta.
Breathe, say a mantra, and don't eat chilies. We got it.
Mantra.
Okay, so eat here.
Thank you.
Here, and don't exercise, and just remember it's all a dream.
Yeah, and if you want more, then give me a call, and I'm very happy. I don't have a practice right now with the COVID and all that, but I'm certainly, for friends and everybody else, I'm available. I don't charge, when it's a consultation. So by all means, if you have any more questions, just give me a call, and I'll be very happy to do it.
Very sweet.
My seva.
Well, we're approaching our time, but are there any questions? Any of our hands up?
Greg had his hand up, yeah.
Oh, okay, Greg.
Hi. Well, just keeping in mind it's all a dream and it's all part of the great plan. And I think you've said, Ma has said that in answer to a question, she said something like, what makes you think everything isn't already perfect? Something like that. What keeps going through my head is there's war looming, and there's a lot of people who are going to be suffering a great deal soon, and soldiers who don't want to be there, and a lot of civilians who are going to be stuck in difficult circumstances. And I wonder has Ma said anything about such things, and can we offer a prayer to the world and to the region?
That's a good point. Greg. Yeah, we're in a horrible place right now. Definitely group prayer helps. Like one time in the middle of World War II, which was raging, someone asked Ma, when will the, as you, I think you remember, when will the world be perfect? She said it already is. It's not meant to be it's a school for reaping karma and learning lessons. So it's not meant to be a utopia. It is going to be horrible, but it is true. We don't have to suffer more than we need to. And I can say this, we don't need a war right now. We don't need people bombing each other and rolling over each other with tanks. So let's do that. At the end of our meditation, we'll use our meditation today to put our group energy to help this situation. I think that's a good point, Greg. Thank you. That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, crazy times. So Ananda Swarup left. He's not there. Rainy on the list.
He's not there. Yeah, he said he was leaving.
I don't want to go over too much. It's time. Let's do one more kirtan to Ma as we look at her photo, because Ma's darshan comes through her photos these days. And then I'll lead us through it. Let's do a short meditation together with the idea of taking this energy and drawing Ma's blessings and then sending it out to the world situation which we're in right now. Okay? That's something we can do as a group. It's really nice. This is exactly what I wanted. People are helping each other. People offering suggestions. People are studying Ma together, praying together. This is good. Okay, let's
Sound?
Yeah, I'm gonna do both sound and I'm gonna do the video, but I want to tell people the words from it. Let's see. Okay, there's a sound. We'll sing this simple kirtan, which has Ma's qualities. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Karunamayi, Parameshwari. Anandamayi, this suffix mayi means overflowing with whatever quality precedes it. Anandamayi, overflowing with bliss. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, overflowing with divine consciousness. Karunamayi, overflowing with compassion. Parameshwari, the supreme goddess, supreme one. So the words are Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Karunamayi, Parameshwari. And I will start, oh shoot, I didn't find that. Usually I have the photos all put up, but I forgot this time. But let's see if I can find the photos. Okay, I've got to just find Ma's photos. Here we are. Usually I have this all set up. Okay, Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Karunamayi, Parameshwari. Is that going to start or not? There we go. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Karunamayi, Parameshwari. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Karunamayi, Parameshwari. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Karunamayi, Parameshwari. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Karunamayi, Parameshwari. Hey Ma, 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 hey Ma. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Karunamayi, Parameshwari. Anandamayi, Chaitanyamayi, Karunamayi, Parameshwari. Hey Ma, 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 hey Ma. Om Ma Shri Ma Jaya Jaya Ma. Om Ma Shri Ma Jaya Jaya Ma. Om Ma Shri Ma Jaya Jaya Ma. Om Ma Shri Ma Jaya Ma. Om Ma Shri Ma Jaya 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 Jaya Ma. Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Karunamayi Parameshwari. Nandamayi Chaitanyamayi Karunamayi Parameshwari. Hey Ma, 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 hey Ma. Om Ma Shri Ma Jai Jai 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 Ma. Om Ma Shri Ma Jaya Jaya 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 Ma. Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Karunamayi Parameshwari. Anandamayi Chaitanyamayi Karunamayi Parameshwari. Hey Ma. So let's together enter into meditation as Ma has taught us, and invoke this divine mantra within us, the mantra we use, whatever it is, and with the idea that we're going to build up Ma's presence and power and then send it out to the world situation as we need it right now. So let's make sure we're sitting correctly, erect, the spine erect, body relaxed. And we make sure our mind is just centered and resting in this moment, just here, now. Totally relaxed, letting go of everything, letting go of all the mental images, just dropping everything and seeing what remains, the consciousness that remains. And with that consciousness of I am, let the mind just sink down into the breath and be aware of the movement of the breath without changing it, just observing the breath, letting the breath and mind become one in calmness and peace. then we add whatever mantra we work with. If we want to invoke Ma, we can invoke by Om Ma. So as we breathe in, mentally we intone with the breath, Om Ma. As we exhale, Om Ma, Om Ma. Let the mind just be in the present moment.
Got this Thai basil chicken.
Let me mute.
That's right.
Mute yourself if you're not muted. So we're just continuing with the movement of the breath and the mantra Om Ma, or whatever mantra you use. Now feeling that presence of Ma within us that we've invoked, that divine presence, and also feeling our unity with all life. We share common humanity with all mankind. We share common divinity, and our spirit, our Atma, is one with everyone. And that feeling of unity and love, just feel that the heart chakra is like a huge spotlight. Open up the heart area and just beam that out to the whole world, especially the world situation at this time. To all the crazy world leaders, to the army, to the situation, the tenseness. Pour that spotlight of Ma's blessing and grace into it to bring peace, to bring balance. Just feel Ma's presence that we feel within our own hearts is pouring out of that heart towards the world situation today. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all look to the good of others. And may all experience the unity of life. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Ma Amritam Gamaya, Aviravir Me Lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. This is fullness which proceeds from that divine fullness. When fullness is taken from fullness, yet only fullness remains. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Shri Anandamayi Mata ki jai. Apne apne Satgurudev Bhagavan ki jai. So, once again, our time is finished, but our life together and our devotion for Ma is not. It's just beginning. Thank you all for coming very much. Thank you, Pragya, for sharing your reading, and thank you, Renu, for hosting us. And thank you for all your participation and comments. Renu, be sure, if you want to put your name on our mailing list, be sure to put that there into the chats, and Renu will give it over to me.
You want the donation link today?
Do you have it?
I do. I can get it in like 2 seconds.
There's this is not for us. This is our Ma Sharanam ashram in India runs a school for the local village children, totally free. Impoverished area, these they're called Adivasi Aboriginal children. They have about 300 day students, boys and girls, in a hostel, a gurukul, with about 50 boys. And they, without government help now, without Swami Gurushan and I being able to travel, and also we lost our American nonprofits, so they need to be helped. So if you feel inspired to give a donation, this link is a very safe link. We just recently came across. It's through this app, Fund India, I think, or Give India, or something like that. But it's very safe. So if you like to give a donation to the school, it all goes to the school and the people there and the kids. And Rainey's putting in a link for that. And we're here every third Sunday for the Mahasi Satsang. Let me end with one quick thing Ma says. Her final word of advice here. If I can find it. Oh, shoot, I had it marked. Here it is. Well, I had a nice quote from Ma marked, but I don't have it now. Let's just find something. She says. Okay, Ma says, the Atma, the pure self, the Atma of this body is everybody's Atma. It cannot be that anybody anywhere is not Ma's very own. With those words, we leave. So thank you all. If you want to unmute and just say goodbye, we're all here together on Galley View. And really good to see everybody. Really, it's really a joy to have this time together. Jai Ma.
Jai Ma.
Jai Ma, everyone.
Jai
Until
Ma.
next time.
Jai Ma, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you so much. Gratitude for all.
Thanks for that suggestion. That was a good suggestion of putting out the energy of the world situation.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Jai Ma.
Mangalananda.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh. Okay, take care, everyone.
All right. Beautiful day.
Don't hang up yet, because I need to get the chat.
Okay, I'll wait a little bit. Okay, Raina?
Yeah, good.
Bye-bye, everybody. Jai Ma. See you next month.